So recently, I was accused and made fun of at the WAC for being a boomer. I don't know. I was complaining about something, being an old man. And so I'm going to start today with that. So I'm going to apologize too for anyone I'm about to offend who has young kids. But this is the time of year where I can't stand these signs in people's yards because their kid completed fifth grade or third grade or kindergarten. Like, when did that start? We're celebrating a fifth grade graduation. I mean, there's ceremonies now and walking down the aisle, and I don't understand it. I didn't do it, but like I said, I'm old. You can yell at me, but come on, fifth grade, great. You can tie your Velcro shoes. You might be able to read. You've done nothing. But why do we celebrate it? The eighth grade, I don't know, doesn't really do it for me either. I wasn't the smartest kid in the world, but it getting through eighth grade isn't that difficult. My world, when I'm president, it's going to be high school and college. That's it. No big party because little Timmy graduated third grade and knows how to open his juice box. So it's just bothering me. I will do this every spring at graduation. But if you have kids like that and you want to celebrate that they have survived some years of schooling and had their milk and cookies and taken their naps, then I guess that's your power. But I don't have to agree with it. I don't know when it started or why, but if you're going to celebrate fifth grade with a party, your eighth grade party better be huge, and then your high school party better be in freaking Vegas. I don't know what you do for college, but if we're having all these, you're setting yourself up for a big event. See, I help my kids out. We didn't have any big parties, so when they have big events, they seem to be big events. They don't expect any major stuff. But anyway, congrats to all the third, fourth, and fifth graders who survived the awfulness and got that education. You made it. You did absolutely nothing, but good job. All right, French Open. Um, Here's my thoughts. Is not really tennis. I think there's something wrong with tennis. I didn't even know it was on. One day I was at the WAC and I'm walking through the lobby and there's women's tennis on, and I saw the French Open on, and it was the women's semifinals, and I had no idea. I didn't know it was on. I didn't know who was in the men's final. I didn't know Alcaraz was playing Zverev until Sunday morning. I'm having my coffee, sitting with my cat, and I'm flipping around, and I find the French Open, and they're playing, and I didn't even know. And I'm not taking blame for it because I live in the tennis world. I'm an old man now, but I'm on social media. I do a podcast. I live in tennis. I'm surrounded by tennis people all day long. How does somebody like me not know that the French Open semis and finals are playing? I don't get it. I think something's wrong with tennis. They are not marketing enough. Maybe it's specific to the French Open or NBC, but when the U.S. Open's on, they use the entire month of August, commercials, and they have great commercials, and you know it's coming. And I know it's the U.S. Open; it's my home country's thing, and I probably know more. But how does that happen? And how many other people missed it? Maybe I'm maybe I'm the only one, but I watched the last three sets of Alcaraz and Zverev, and it was great. But that is all I watched. Um, Maybe some of it's because the current top players aren't much in the personality world. They seem nice enough, but they seem to like each other, and there's no real um, sort of rivalries, I suppose. With Kyrgios hurt, there's nobody for them to gang up on or try to beat. On the women's side, honestly, I don't know anything. I know Coco is still good, I suppose, but the Swiatek, she's winning everything, and I don't know if I'd know her if she walked in the club and took tennis lessons. I might know her because of her skill, but I think something's wrong with tennis. And I think it's the promoting and marketing, and I think it's also the drab personalities of the people at the top. I would watch every match that was Federer, Nadal, Nadal, Djokovic, Djokovic, Federer, any of those three, Andy Murray, Roddick, Agassi, Agassi, Courier, Agassi, Sampras, Borg, McEnroe, McEnroe, Connors, Boris Becker. Who are those people now? I'm not saying they're not good. The people now they're amazing players. Martina and Chrissy, um, Sharapova and Serena Williams. We don't have that now, and I think tennis is going down a bad path if we don't find someone that makes it somewhat interesting. And I'm speaking for the common people. I have friends that are tennis channel junkies and they have it on all day and they know everything about everyone, and that's great. Good for them. That's just not the common people, and I am a common person. Um, that leads me a bit to another marketing thing is Caitlin Clark not being on the Olympic team. I fall on the side of whoever that committee is are a bunch of morons and idiots. You finally have eyes on the WNBA and women's basketball and women's sports in general. Finally have more eyes on them. Somebody like me. And you're not putting Caitlin Clark on the team, which means for me, my case, I'm not watching. You won't. I won't spend a second watching women's Olympic basketball because it doesn't interest me. I know Caitlin Clark, and there's other great players, and I'm not saying she deserves to be on the team from her talent level. She may not be the best in the top 12 of WNBA players, but whatever moron didn't put her on the team is crazy because you just lost millions of viewers and you just stopped selling jerseys, and the women are going to win the Olympics anyway. It doesn't matter if she's on the team or not. They're winning. They're that much better. If she's not on it, no Wheaties boxes, no selling jerseys, shoes. I think it's going to damage the future of the women's basketball. Because if there's a break in WNBA and the Olympics is on, I'm not watching it, which means I probably won't get back to watching WNBA or Caitlin Clark. Plus, she is good enough. She's scoring points. But from a pure marketing promotional standpoint, what a horrible mistake, in my opinion. Similar to what I just mentioned about tennis, is they aren't putting people out there that have those big personalities and marketing them. Maybe tennis has them. They're just not very good at getting them out because I don't know who they are. Yep, I'm an old man. Speaking of old men, Jerry West. If you're listening to this, it's about tennis. But if you're older than me, probably grew up with Jerry West, and I don't know a ton about him, but I researched a lot and always knew he was a legend. But I had no idea exactly what he has done. So if you don't know, Jerry West passed away this morning. It is Wednesday the 12th. And I looked up some of the stuff he did, and I was not aware of many of the accomplishments he had. He was 86 years old. He made the NBA Finals 9 times, won one. He's also the only player ever to win the Finals MVP on a losing team. It's never happened again. He averaged 37.9 points, lost in 7 games. The NBA logo is him. He also won 5 championships as a GM executive with the Lakers. He made 14 All-Star games. Well, he played 14 years, so every year he made the All-Star game. 12 All-NBA teams, 5 All-Defensive teams. Named one of the greatest 50 players. Created the Lakers, drafted Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, you name it. He did all that stuff. Won Executive of the Year with another team. Won it with the Warriors. He managed to get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on the Clippers. So he's been in the Hall of Fame elected 3 times. As a player, an executive, and something else. Oh yeah, he also has an Olympic gold medal. There's nothing he hasn't affected, and I just think it's amazing. And somebody who started playing in the 60s was relevant all the way through today when he passed away. So if you don't know Jerry West, just Google it. He is the GOAT of all time in basketball when you add it all up. I obviously believe Michael Jordan from a playing standpoint, but there's nobody close to Jerry West. Just a legend. And Google it. If you don't know anything about him, read it. He's got a book that I'm going to start reading, and I will do a book review. But check it out. It's just a big deal in the sports world. And I wonder if Jerry West had a puppy. That is how you do it. That's a professional transition to a new topic. So 1 week from today, today's Wednesday, June 12th, I'm going to have a puppy in our house. We pick it up at 10:30 next Wednesday, and then it's go time. And I'm terrified, and we're excited. And we ended up picking, we call him Blue. That's not his official name, but they put collars on him. So if you want to see pictures of our puppy, go to my Facebook or Instagram. You can see all that stuff. And we're looking forward to that. If you got any puppy advice, love to hear it, because we don't know what we're doing. Something interesting I heard on a podcast is, I had no idea. So there's two shoe companies: Adidas, obviously one of the largest in the world, and Puma, one of the largest. I had no idea about this, but Adidas and Puma were started by two brothers, the Dassler brothers. Um, they owned one company and got in a fight. Apparently, what it says in my amazing research, thanks to Wikipedia, is that in 1919 they started this, but then they separated after 30 years of working together because of a feud, because their wives couldn't get along. So they split up, killed the family business, and one of them started Puma and one of them started Adidas in the same city, on the same streets, at opposite ends of the streets. They have their factories, still do. And they stole employees from each other. Really cool story about two brothers who apparently their wives couldn't get along, so they had to split up and start these two huge shoe companies, shoes and clothes now. Anyway, Wikipedia, it's a really cool story. I think there is a documentary on it somewhere. But I just thought it was interesting because it is in the sports world. And one of my favorite players of all time, Boris Becker, wore Puma for a while. And I like cats. All right, a couple of tennis things. This is going to be short today. I was messing around on Twitter, and there's a basketball analyst named Jay Billis. You would know him if you watch any college basketball. He's the primary ESPN analyst, but he runs a basketball camp, and he posted this quote. I do not know if it's his or he stole it or someone else, but I'm not taking credit for it. I'm just going to use it. The quote was, "Your habits are what are revealed under stress." And I thought that was really good, because you form those habits you form on a practice court. It's so true. Those are what's going to show up when things go down the crapper. You have things to fall back on, that when you're under stress, you should go into, hey, I've practiced this before. I've done this situation. Coach and I worked on this. But those are why you form quality habits, and why your coaches force you to repeat things over and over and over and over, or they drop feed balls to you, which a lot of people hate, but coaches love. They do the same thing for an hour, and you get bored, but they know that this is going to come into play. And the reason I brought it up is, I was recently in a class, and somebody did something. I suggested a better option, and the response was, well, this is just a drill. And then later I had one today that someone said the usual, made a decision to take a huge risk when it was unnecessary. And this person said, I would never do that in a match. My response was, heck yeah, you will. You guarantee you will do it in a match, because you do it in practice, and those things show up. So forming those habits are hugely important when you're in a practice session. You know how I teach, just take what's there in front of you, take the point, walk away, move on. But the it's just a drill comment is interesting because I think that's one of those things that could upset a coach, get us angry or annoyed. It would do that to me in my younger youth, my youth in my 40s. That would really bother me, um, because it's just a drill. It's also a coach with his time, his schedule, putting an effort to plan and create a good experience, but the player is just treating it like anything else. It's nothing. Now, this player wasn't negative about it. It wasn't said in that way. It was just you could tell that was their thing. Well, just a drill will turn into, oh, it's just a match. It's just a loss, is what it's going to turn into. And I'd encourage, excuse me, I'd encourage all of you, like I do my players, treat your group lessons, your drills, whatever you call them, treat them like matches. You may be working on a skill, but you can also look around the court and see who's across from you. And you can ask yourself questions. What would I do if the coach walked off the court? I ask that a lot of my students. Hey, what would your plan be if I left right now? You spin your racket, start a match. What do you do? Do you know who's across from you? What are they good at? What are they bad at? All those kind of things. But if you're just randomly in a drill and the ball comes to you and you just hit it and you don't care, and then the coach tries to teach you and you don't care, stop taking drills. It's not fair to your bank account. It's not fair to the coach. The players around you, not fair to them either. I think you can do both. Like I have some rules in ours now. I've relaxed a bit. I hated people hitting out balls. But I wanted them to play balls that landed out. Doesn't make sense. Makes me sound kind of hypocritical where I'm allowing them to do one thing but not another. So I kind of have a loose goal now, or guideline for my players. I'm okay if you hit a ball that's going out if we're not keeping score. But as soon as we start keeping score, that's got to be done. I'm okay. We told the group this week, hey, this is a practice session. So if someone hits a ball an inch out, don't call it out. Just hit it back. Wait until we're telling you to hit score, because there's nothing worse than a drill than you're into it, good point going, and someone in a practice session hits one 3 centimeters out, and somebody calls it out, puts their finger up, and doesn't play it, and kind of kills the vibe. So a lot of my job right now is providing entertainment and an experience for players. So I have to adjust my coaching style a bit. I have one group that it's I think we call it Play Everything Wednesday. Doesn't matter where it is. It could be going over the fence, and if you can climb that fence and leap it, then you can get that ball back. I'm good with that stuff. If these groups were trying to make the US Open or the French Open, or really focused on winning an event, I wouldn't do that stuff. But I'd encourage you, it's just a drill. Well, drill means a lot of things. You can learn something, you can still work on skills, you can still sweat, get your exercise, but think about your drills as matches. At any point your coach leaves and says, I'm done with you guys, start right now. You should have an idea of what's going on around you so you can plan and prepare. So it's just a drill. It is. And I get in the big picture of the world. It's not that important to your life. But just think about that. Remember to form those habits. It's why we do them. And let your coach do your job. Do their job, not your job. Your job is to hit the ball. All right, that's all I got. I told you it's short. I am less than 20 minutes today because I didn't have that much, and I'm trying to get back in the groove and didn't wait too long for it. So I will keep you posted on Puppy Watch next Wednesday. Again, you can watch these if you want to see how pretty I am. You can find them on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all those things. Also, find me at the WAC. We got a lot of stuff going on this summer, and that's all I got. Thanks, everybody. I will see y'all on the court soon. See ya.